Amidst a noisy world where people ceaselessly chase after the hurried rhythm of life, burdened by pressure and expectation, we gradually lose the most precious thing, peace, within our own hearts. Each day passes as we are swept away by lists of tasks to do, goals to reach, and roles to fulfill. We believe happiness lies ahead in success recognition and grand achievements yet to come. But the more we chase, the emptier we feel. The more we possess, the more restless the mind becomes. And then one day, amid the world's noise, we begin to hear a small echo from within, that true happiness is not something to be found, but something to be remembered. The answer has always been there, hidden in the ancient teachings humanity has long forgotten. The Buddha once said, "When the mind is pure, the world becomes pure." Peace does not arise from changing the world, but from changing the way we see it. Thousands of years ago, Buddhism pointed to a path both simple and profound, the path of mindfulness. It is not about escaping life, but about living fully in each breath, each action, each present moment. To see suffering is to understand it. To see impermanence is to learn how to love. To see non-self is to know how to share. In an age when the mind is torn apart by work, social media, and endless desires, this wisdom becomes a guiding light. Happiness does not come from holding on to more, but from the ability to let go. It is not found by running forward, but by pausing at the right time. Perhaps it is time to return to the breath, to presence, to the soul itself. For only when the mind is at peace can the world be at peace. And maybe the happiness we have long been searching for has never truly left us. It is still here, in this very moment, in the stillness we so rarely stop to hear. Modern humanity is not lacking in knowledge, but in awareness. We know how to build tall houses, yet not how to build a steady mind. We know how to connect with the world, yet not with ourselves. In the storm of speed and noise, we have forgotten the art of living slowly, deeply, and truthfully. But the answers to that inner emptiness are not new. They have been passed down for thousands of years in the Buddha's teachings, simple, quiet, and powerful. The Dharma does not speak of distant happiness. It speaks of happiness that can be touched right here and now. It does not require renouncing the world, only relearning how to live within it, without being carried away by it. In that spirit, 7 secrets of happiness are revealed not as magical formulas, but as 7 living principles tested by time. Each secret is a doorway back to serenity. Gratitude helps us feel enough. Love helps us see ourselves in others. Mindfulness helps us live truthfully in the present. Purpose gives our steps direction. Acceptance lightens the weight of impermanence. Caring for body and mind keeps us in balance. And finally, giving selflessly allows us to touch the deepest joy. These 7 secrets are not merely teachings, they are a path anyone can walk if they dare to look within. Each principle is a mirror reflecting the state of one's own heart. Have we truly felt grateful for this life? Are we living fully in the present, or chasing illusions of tomorrow? Do we give out of love or out of fear of being forgotten? When we begin to ask such questions, happiness ceases to be a destination and becomes a journey, and every mindful step brings us closer to peace. So open your heart, listen deeply, and explore these 7 secrets, the pearls of ancient wisdom reawakened to illuminate modern life. For perhaps what you have been seeking all along lies within a single breath, a single moment, a single thought right here, right now. Gratitude is not merely a beautiful emotion. It is the foundation of wisdom and happiness. In a world where people constantly chase after what they do not yet have, gratitude reminds us that we already have enough. Every time the heart awakens in thankfulness, our inner energy transforms. Lack turns into abundance. Comparison turns into peace, and all suffering feels lighter. The Buddha once taught that those who are grateful are truly alive, for they can see blessings even in the simplest things, the morning sunlight, a child's laughter, a warm meal, or simply the rhythm of one's breath. All are miracles we often take for granted. When we are grateful, we stop running from life and begin to live it fully. Gratitude does not come from grand gestures, but is cultivated through the small, ordinary moments we often overlook. Try this each night before sleep. Write down 3 things you are grateful for today. A kind word, a gentle look, a quiet moment of peace. That alone is enough. When the mind focuses on the good, the brain learns to recognize positivity, and gradually the outer world begins to soften as well. Gratitude is the medicine that heals every sorrow. It helps us see value in hardship lessons, in failure, and light in the midst of darkness. A grateful person does not fear loss, for they understand that every event, pleasant or painful, is a condition guiding them closer to growth. When we are grateful for what we have, we also learn to be grateful for what we've lost. For those losses teach us to cherish what remains. There is no path to happiness apart from gratitude, because gratitude itself is happiness. It unlocks serenity and allows us to face life with gentle eyes instead of resentment. In every circumstance, ask yourself, what is this moment teaching me? That question transforms adversity into wisdom and wounds into understanding. Begin each morning with a simple thank you. Thank you for the breath, for being alive, for having the chance to love, to correct, to begin again. And when the day ends, be grateful for the distance you've traveled. Slowly, your mind will grow still clear and steadfast. For gratitude is not a fleeting feeling, it is the state of an awakened soul. When you live in gratitude, you no longer chase happiness because happiness already lives within that very gratitude itself. In an age where one can speak to thousands through a screen, we have never felt lonelier. The more connected the world becomes, the more disconnected our hearts feel. Buddhism reminds us that happiness cannot exist in isolation. All beings are interdependent, like drops of water merging into the vast ocean. None can exist alone. Every relationship we have, no matter how small, reflects our inner world. When we love, we nourish ourselves. When we are angry, we harm ourselves. A true practitioner does not cultivate the mind only in silence, but also in how they treat others. True happiness arises from genuine connection, not through polite exchanges, but through full presence. When you listen to someone, truly listen without judgment, without rushing to reply, simply to understand. When you say thank you, say it with your whole heart. A compassionate gaze, a sincere question, a warm embrace, these can heal more deeply than 1,000 words of advice. The Buddha taught that compassion is the root of all wholesome relationships, for compassion sees another's suffering and cannot bear to cause harm. In our busy lives, we often forget that loved ones need care just as much as our own hearts do. A meal shared with family, a call to an old friend, a timely apology, these small gestures are the glue that binds humanity together. When you sow seeds of care, you reap a sense of belonging, a feeling no wealth or fame can buy. And when conflict or misunderstanding arises, choose forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about whether the other deserves it, but about freeing yourself. Holding on to resentment only burdens the heart and drains joy. When you forgive, you release yourself from the prison of the past. Take a moment to reflect on your life today. Is there someone you have not reached out to in a long time? A thank you left unsaid, a bond you've silently let fade. Begin again even with a simple message, a smile or a kind word. For genuine relationships are mirrors reflecting the quality of our hearts. When you love rightly, you not only warm the hearts of others, you discover the deepest peace within your own. Most of human suffering does not come from what is actually happening, but from what the mind keeps imagining. We live in the present, yet our thoughts are pulled back to the past or thrown ahead into the future. We dwell on what is lost, worry about what is yet to come, and forget that real life exists only in this very moment. The Buddha called this wandering mind the mind that is not here. When the mind strays, the body may still live, but the spirit has already drifted away from reality. Every breath, every step, every beam of light passing by us carries the fullness of life, yet because of our haste, we no longer feel it. Living in the present does not mean erasing the past or ignoring the future. It means not letting them take over our minds. When consciousness is tied to memory or anticipation, we lose the power of the present, the only place where we can truly change, feel, and live. When you eat, just eat. When you walk, just walk. When you speak, just speak. Let your entire awareness return to the action you are performing. That simplicity is mindfulness, the key that opens the gate to peace. Whenever you feel your mind wandering, simply return to your breath. Feel the air entering and leaving, gentle yet complete. As the breath deepens, the mind naturally settles. Worries, anger, and regrets dissolve like clouds after the rain. Mindfulness requires no special space or ritual. It can begin right now in the morning traffic, while washing dishes, or while sitting quietly with a cup of tea. Those who live in the present are no longer bound by the past or pulled by the future. They learn to observe without judgment, to listen without attachment. When the mind is here, everything becomes clearer, sounds become purer, the wind's scent more vivid, and each moment becomes a miracle. Pause for just 1 minute. Inhale deeply, exhale softly, and ask yourself, what in this moment have I not yet noticed? It might be a small joy, a feeling of peace, or simply the awareness that you are still alive. That awakening is the greatest gift life offers. The present moment is all we truly have. When you learn to live fully within it, you no longer need to chase happiness, because happiness is already here within every breath you take. Humans are often haunted by perfection. We want everything to be right, to be enough to reach the highest standard. Yet, in that pursuit, we slowly forget why we began in the first place. The Buddha once said, "The root of suffering lies in attachment," and perfectionism is one subtle form of attachment, clinging to an ideal image of ourselves, exhausting the heart in trying to reach it. Life is a ceaseless flow, and within that flow nothing remains perfect forever. Flowers bloom and wither, the moon waxes and wanes, everything follows the law of impermanence. To resist that truth is to lose our inner freedom. Instead of chasing perfection, aim for purpose. Purpose is not about fame or achievement. It is what makes you feel that your life has meaning. When you act out of love service or the wish to create something good, you find peace even if the outcome isn't flawless. The true value of life is not found in what you accomplish, but in the state of your heart while doing it. One who lives with clear purpose understands that failure is not an ending. It is part of the journey. Perfection creates pressure. Purpose creates power. When we put our hearts into what we do, every mistake becomes a lesson, every stumble a step toward growth. Like an artisan patiently polishing a gem, you need not demand it to shine immediately. Just keep refining it with faith that the light will emerge. Every purposeful step brings you closer to true fulfillment, not perfection in results, but wholeness in spirit. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? If the answer is to be praised, to prove yourself, or to outshine others, weariness will soon follow. But if you do it to serve, to learn, or simply because it feels right, then success or failure will no longer define your peace. Happiness is not found in flawlessness, but in authenticity. When you release the illusion of perfection, you begin to touch the beauty of the journey itself. And when you live with purpose, every small act becomes a meditation. Every effort brings serenity. Don't strive to be perfect. Strive to be true. For those who live sincerely with purpose, even on the roughest roads, will always shine brightly in the world. Nothing in this world is permanent. Everything flows, every relationship transforms, and even we ourselves are no longer who we were yesterday. Change is not an exception. It is the very nature of life. The Buddha called this impermanence the law that governs all phenomena. Suffering arises only when we resist this natural flow, when we cling to what has passed or fear what has yet to come. But when we open our hearts, change ceases to be a threat and becomes a teacher leading us toward growth. Every event in life, large or small, carries within it a lesson. When we lose a job, when a relationship ends, when circumstances suddenly shift, these are not endings, but openings. Change compels us to look inward, to ask, who am I when everything around me changes? It is in that moment we realize that our true worth does not lie in what we possess, but in our ability to adapt, to let go, and to begin again. Change frightens us because it pulls us out of our comfort zone. But comfort is often just a cocoon, while change is the process of transformation. The silkworm cannot become a butterfly if it clings to its old shell. Likewise, only when we dare to face uncertainty can we discover the stronger, freer version of ourselves. Look back at the changes in your life. Haven't many of the things that once terrified you led to something better? One door closed so another could open. Someone left so you could learn to stand on your own. A failure revealed that your true value lies not in outcomes, but in resilience. Life always has a deeper reason for every turn, even if our eyes are not yet clear enough to see it. To embrace change does not mean to be indifferent, but to meet it with a calm heart and clear mind. When the wind rises, be like bamboo, flexible, bending, but unbroken. When everything feels upside down, return to your breath, and keep your mind still like a lake, reflecting all things without distortion. For only when the mind stops resisting can it perceive the gift hidden within the storm, the opportunity to evolve. Remember, no winter lasts forever, and no change is without meaning. Each time life shifts, we are invited to grow. When you welcome change with courage and trust, you do not merely endure, you ascend. And within every beat of life's transformation, you will see the unchanging truth, the boundless strength of your own awakened heart. Body and mind are like two wings of the same bird. If one is weak, the bird cannot fly far. Modern people often care for the body, but neglect the mind, or nurture the mind, while abandoning the body, and then wonder why they feel weary and uneasy, even when they have everything. The Buddha taught that happiness can only blossom when body and mind exist in harmony. The body is the house, the mind is the dweller. Only when the house is stable can the dweller be at peace. Caring for the body is not an act of selfishness, but a sacred duty. This body is the vessel through which we learn, love, and act in the world. When we listen to it, we are practicing mindfulness. A full night's rest, a wholesome meal, a light exercise, all are expressions of self-respect. Each time you walk, feel your feet touching the earth. Each time you eat, truly taste and be present. This awareness in small daily actions is the foundation of a healthy body and a peaceful mind. Yet caring for the body alone is not enough. If the mind is restless, the body can never truly relax. Set aside quiet time each day, not to escape the world, but to listen to yourself. Just a few minutes of meditation or deep breathing will calm the storm of thoughts. As the breath softens, the mind clears. Observe your emotions as you would, clouds passing through the sky. There is sadness, anger, worry. Let them come and go without resistance. Every emotion has a right to visit. Your task is simply to remain the witness. The mind, too, needs nourishment, just as the body needs food. Choose wholesome mental nourishment, kind words, books that awaken wisdom, serene music and relationships that make your heart light. Avoid feeding the mind with toxins, negative news, harsh judgments, pointless comparisons. Everything you consume plants seeds within you. Choose good seeds, and your heart will become a garden of peace. Finally, remember that self-care is not selfishness. It is a form of service. When you are calm, you radiate calm. When you are strong, you strengthen others. A lamp cannot light another if its own flame has gone out. So begin with yourself, sleep an hour earlier, breathe a little deeper, smile once more. These are not trivial acts of indulgence, but seeds of happiness you are planting for the whole world around you. Among all of the Buddha's teachings, the spirit of dana, generosity, is regarded as the root of peace. For when we know how to give, we are freed from possession. When we know how to share, we are released from the chains of ego. Human suffering does not come from lack, but from the fear of losing. Each act of giving is a message to the universe, I am enough, and that sense of inner abundance is the true foundation of happiness. Giving is not limited to material things. It can be energy, time, kindness, attention, or even a smile. Some of the most precious gifts cost nothing like your presence in a moment when someone's heart is breaking. When we give from a pure heart, without calculation or expectation, our mind is cleansed of grasping and joy becomes pristine. Like a river that stays clear only when it keeps flowing, we remain pure when we do not hold back for ourselves. The world is drying up because people give with conditions. They help to be praised, love to be loved, back, offer only to receive in return. But when actions spring from selfless intent, that energy circulates and returns to us in the most natural way. A word of encouragement can save someone from despair. A shared experience can guide another out of confusion. A moment of forgiveness can free your own heart. Giving then becomes the deepest form of healing. The Buddha taught those who give are those who truly live. For in giving we tear down the wall that separates self from others, and see that all are one. When you give love, that love never leaves you, it becomes you. When you plant good seeds, you need not wait for karma to ripen, for in the very act of giving, peace has already bloomed within you. Begin with the smallest gestures. Help a friend share a meal, listen to someone in sorrow, or simply smile at a passerby. Do not wait to have more. Before you give, for goodness is not measured by wealth, but by heart. Every act of kindness is a seed sown in this world, and sooner or later it will blossom within your own soul. And above all, remember that the greatest form of giving is giving to yourself, giving yourself compassion, forgiveness, and permission to begin again. For when you are filled with love, you naturally become a fountain from which love flows. When you give without expecting to receive, you touch true freedom, and happiness ceases to be something to chase. It becomes the natural current of a heart that is opened. There are moments in life when we can neither move forward nor turn back, when everything seems to pause in the middle ground where struggle, disappointment, and helplessness meet. It is precisely there that the highest qualities of the human spirit are forged: patience and acceptance. The Buddha taught that the root of wisdom lies in the ability to endure without resentment, to wait without despair, and to accept without surrendering. Patience is not weakness. It is the quiet strength of one who governs their own energy. It is like the earth, silent under every footstep, yet unshakably steady. In a world obsessed with speed, patience has become rare. We want instant results, instant understanding, instant harmony. But life does not move according to our wishes. It follows its own law. Every seed needs time to sprout, and every form of growth requires seasons of waiting. Those who understand patience know that strong winds cannot uproot trees with deep roots. They do not seek to control everything, they focus instead on keeping their hearts calm amid change. Acceptance, too, is an art, the art of living with reality as it is. Acceptance does not mean giving up or becoming passive. It means ceasing to resist what cannot be changed. When we stop arguing with what is, the mind settles, and space for understanding opens. Pain may still be there, but resistance only prolongs it. Acceptance allows us to see the true nature of suffering, and in that clear seeing, suffering dissolves. Practicing patience and acceptance begins with small acts. When misunderstood, choose to listen instead of react. When plans collapse, take a deep breath instead of complaining. When life doesn't go your way, ask, what is this trying to teach me? Each time you choose calm over impulse, compassion over judgment, your heart evolves to a higher level. Remember, water is soft, yet it carves through stone. The wind is gentle, yet it shapes mountains. True strength does not lie in rigidity, but in the ability to remain flexible and steadfast in stillness. When you master patience, time becomes your ally. When you master acceptance, every change becomes a lesson. And when both qualities unite, the mind attains freedom, untouched by praise or blame, success or loss. This is true equanimity amidst life's turbulence, the wisdom of one who has realized that perfection is not required for peace. If the heart remains unmoved, then no matter how the world shifts, serenity endures. Happiness is not a destination waiting at the end of the road. It is the way we walk along it. The Buddha's teachings are not distant ideals in the sky, but living truths found in every breath, in every simple act, gratitude upon waking presence, during a meal listening with compassion, and giving with a heart free of expectation. True happiness has never left us. It is only that our minds have become too noisy to hear it, too hurried to see it, too grasping to feel it. When we learn to pause, to observe, to live mindfully, then, even amidst life's chaos, we can still find a corner of stillness within ourselves. The 7 secrets of happiness are not lessons to memorize, but seeds to practice. Each day, choose one principle to live by. Today, practice gratitude. Tomorrow, patience. The next day, generosity. Step by step, each small act will accumulate into a life of depth and meaning. Do not wait for perfect conditions to begin peace blossoms, only when you learn to smile amidst imperfection. Look back at your journey. How long have you been chasing happiness, and how many moments have you lost simply because you were not present? It is time to return to your breath, to your body, to those you love, and to your own heart. For everything you seek, peace, joy, purpose, has always been within you. If you were to begin with just one thing today, let it be awareness. Awareness in your words, in your actions, in your thoughts. Awareness that sees every moment as a new chance to love, to understand, to live fully. When you walk in awareness, each passing day is no longer a repetition, but a journey toward awakening. Share this light with everyone you meet, through a smile, a word of encouragement, or simply through your wholehearted presence. For happiness, like a flame, grows brighter when shared. Thank you for walking this path together. May the wisdom of ancient teachings become the very breath of your daily life, guiding you to walk lightly in the world, rest peacefully within, and live happily without the need to search any further.